Hello, I'm back with Bill Nolan of the Alabama Elder Care Law Firm. Bill, welcome back. How's it going?
Pleasure to be back. Thank you. Going well. How about you?
Very well, thanks. Very well. Uh, Bill, I wanted to talk about Medicaid. Now, being a Brit, it's something that is kind of foreign to me. What is Medicaid? How does it work?
Medicaid is a joint federal and state program that provides a number of benefits to what they call, to elderly primarily. That's where we get involved with seniors, but it provides medical treatment for infants and people who are impoverished and homeless, that kind of thing. It's a huge program, and our involvement tends to be for senior care in a nursing home. That's where we get involved in it.
Okay. Now, when someone comes to you and says, my spouse or my children have promised me that I will never be put in a nursing home, how do you handle that?
Yeah, that comes up a lot. Nursing homes scare people. And I understand why, because historically nursing homes have been awful places. And they're still not the Hyatt or the Hilton by any means. They can be decent, they can be awful still. So I understand why people are afraid of them. And they make these little handshake agreements with their kids or their parents saying, I promise you under no circumstances, you don't have to worry, mom, I'm not going to put you in a nursing home. But the fact is, something might happen to your daughter before it happens to you. The person who promised never to put you in a nursing home has died before you have. Now what happens? Well, her husband, your son-in-law, he's looking for another wife. He doesn't want some mother-in-law hanging around. He's going to drop you in a nursing home as fast as he can. Or your daughter may have made that promise, but your son, who's a deadbeat, may put you in a nursing home really quickly. So even if you do have that handshake agreement with someone, it never hurts to have a plan B in place, and that plan B is what we help you with.
Okay. And does Medicare pay for the nursing home care?
Medicaid has five hoops that you have to jump through in order to become eligible for Medicaid. And the first is you have to be a U.S. citizen. The second is you have to already be in a nursing home. You can't send out applications like you would for college, in other words. You have to already be in a nursing home before you can apply. The third is your monthly income can't exceed a certain amount. It's about $2,900 a month. The fourth is your assets. Medicaid calls them resources. Your assets can't exceed a whopping $2,000, not including the value of your home or your car. And the fifth is you can't transfer anything to anybody except your spouse within 5 years of applying for Medicaid. If you meet those eligibility requirements, congratulations. Medicaid begins and will pick up your nursing home expenses every month.
Okay. Now, some people will say it's a welfare program and I won't qualify. Is that always true?
Well, in a sense, it is a welfare program because it's designed to help someone who has certain needs that they can't meet for themselves. These days, it costs $9,000 or $10,000 a month to be in a nursing home, and you might be in a nursing home for 3 years. So, what's that work out to be? That's $300,000, $400,000. Most people don't have extra $300,000 or $400,000 sitting around. So, in that sense, it is a welfare program. However, it's not a welfare program because Medicaid expects to be paid back after your death. And Medicaid will do that in a number of ways. The most, I guess, common way is to put a lien on your house. So at your death, Medicaid sends a letter to your next of kin and it says, our condolences on your loss. When might we be repaid from the sale of the house? Which comes as a shock to many families.
Right. And how do most people pay that 9 to 10,000 a month?
Most people have to spend their entire life savings. They have to cash in their IRAs, their 401ks. They have to take out reverse mortgages on their home. They have to borrow money from friends and family. Sometimes their adult kids have to chip in and pay for it. And only once they're down to a certain nominal amount, they can apply for Medicaid to pick up the tab. But by then, the spouse who's not in the nursing home, who's still at home, she may be impoverished because of taking care of the spouse who is in the nursing home. So our goal is to help families understand that that's not what you have to do. That's what people think you have to do, but there are better ways to do Medicaid planning than to spend all your money first. And that's how we help. That's what elder care is all about.
Okay. And what alternatives are available? How do people minimize that expense?
Well, Medicaid has certain rules. One rule is that you can give away as much of your assets as you want to whoever you want to give them to, as long as you do it more than 5 years in advance. Most people aren't thinking 5 years down the road. They're thinking today. So our goal is to help people understand. Let's plan. If you give your assets away, if you put your assets in trust, for example, and they're there for 5 years, and you don't have to go to a nursing home, you haven't really lost anything. They're still going to go to the same people who would have gotten them anyway. But if you do have to go into a nursing home, those assets are protected, and you can qualify for Medicaid immediately without having to spend those assets down first.
Well, that's really useful information. I must say, from a distance in the UK, we often wonder how on earth US citizens can afford those fees. So that for me was very educational. But I would imagine for a lot of people viewing this, it was too. Um,
It's tough. It's tough and most families don't realize this until they're knee deep in it. They realize I should have done planning years ago. I thought Medicare covered nursing home care, but it doesn't. I had no idea it costs so much to be in a nursing home. Um, yeah, they forgot. They neglected to ask the right questions, and our goal is to make sure they ask the right questions well in advance of needing to qualify for these benefits.
yeah, well, hopefully the people watching this video will be in touch soon. I would be if I was in that situation. Well,
Absolutely.
another great video. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Cheers. Bye bye now.